So in this video, we're going to go through how to flare a brake line with both a standard and a metric flare. So we have two different toolkits here. This is one that I've got from O'Reilly's. It's just a basic double flare SAE American style kit. On the front here we have our instructions. This other kit here, it's a double flare like the other one, and also a bubble flare for doing metrics. So we have two different kits here. So we're going to start off with the double flare toolkit. And what we need to do first of all is get some brake lines. So this is the nickel copper alloy brake line from Napa. This stuff is really nice for making new brake lines. It's a very flexible kind of material. So we're just going to cut off a small section here. And so we have our tool for cutting. Okay, now when we use this tool, we want to open it up, place it in here. We want to turn the knob until the blade just touches the actual metal, and then we're going to spin it around. Every time we go around, I'm going to take and turn this knob just to like an eighth of a turn. We're just going to keep going around. Every time we come around, we're just going to twist the knob, turn it, twist the knob, turn it, and eventually it'll cut that off. Now if we take the cap off this end here, we can see our brake line. The hole is actually kind of small. On the end of the tool here, we actually have a reamer. We're going to go through and just ream that out, and now we can see the hole's a lot larger than it is on the other side. So let's go do both sides. So one end of this brake line we're going to do with the standard flare, double flare. The other side we're going to do the metric bubble flare. We'll open up our flaring kit, our single flaring kit. The brake line we're using is 3/16 of an inch. So we're going to use the 3/16 of an inch side on the tool. We're going to open this up. We're going to put our brake line in. Now what we need to do is we need to go through, there's these adapters on the side here. We need to find our 3/16 of an inch adapter. Okay. Now, if you're unsure, if you flip over the box, there's actually instructions here. It shows that the adapter has a couple humps on it. It's got two humps, so one and then our second one. We want to go ahead and line up the adapter and the brake line with that first hump. So we're just going to move the brake line so that it's even with that first hump on there. Then we can go ahead and close up our clamps here. Make sure they're nice and tight. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to grab our A-frame here. Okay, I'll flip this back over, take a look. So first thing they want us to do is take and put this adapter on top of the brake line. Then we're going to get our A-frame. We're going to put our A-frame on top like so. And we're going to start tightening it down so that the point is going to go into the adapter. And then all we're going to do is we're going to try and get this, make sure this is as straight as possible on here. If it's not straight, we're not going to get a nice flare. And we're just going to twist this until it stops. Twist it all the way down until it stops. It's going to hit on there. Loosen that up. We'll pull out our adapter, and now we have part of it flared. Now to do the double flare, we're just going to take the A-frame and put the point inside of the brake line there. Here, let me see if inside the brake line there. Once again, make sure it's as straight as possible, and then we're just going to take and twist until this stops. And then we have our double flare. Okay, so it should look pretty symmetrical. With especially this nickel copper, if it's not exactly 100% perfect, it'll kind of squish and move its way around to seal itself off pretty good. So on this end here, we're going to do our metric bubble flare. So now this kit here has two different bars. We have a standard inch bar, and then we have our metric one. okay? So 4.75 is the sizing for our metric line. So we're gonna go ahead and put our line in here in the 4.75 millimeter side. Now if we look, one side of this tool has a chamfer, the other side is flat. I wanna make sure we're using the chamfered side, not the flat side. So we'll put our line in there. We're gonna grab our 4.75 millimeter adapter, and then we have this part sticking up on here. What we wanna do is make sure that that part sticking up, this whole piece here, is what is sticking up on the line, and the piece of brake line sticking up out of here is the same length as this piece of metal. So we're just gonna kind of push it down. And basically I'm just making sure that it's all lined up. We're gonna go ahead and tighten up our adapter. If you need to, we can use the handle from the A-frame here just to give it a quick tighten. Now we're gonna grab our A-frame. We're gonna take our adapter and actually gonna screw the adapter into the A-frame. Make sure it threads all the way in. We'll put our handle on here. Open this up. Now, all we have to do is put our A-frame on the flaring bar here, and we're going to take and tighten this down. We want the piece sticking out of the adapter to go inside the brake line. Once again, we want to try snug this up just a smidge. We're going to make sure that this is as straight as possible. Now all we're going to do is we're going to take and turn this handle until it stops. Once it stops, we'll back this out. We'll pull off our A-frame. And now we have a metric bubble flare.